Good morning. This is Artist Talk with LVA, and I'm Keith Waits, and I'm here to talk now with another artist who is a featured artist in the 2022 Art Squared online auction. Nikolai Denchev is originally from Japan and Bulgaria. I'm probably saying that wrong, I'm sure. We'll get it correct here from Nikolai in a minute. He began studying art seriously in the 8th grade at Dechko Uzanov Art High School in Kanzanlak. I'm going to say all these wrong. In Bulgaria. Sorry, I apologize. Nikolai moved to Louisville, Kentucky in August 2003. He has exhibited in Japan and Stara Zagora, Bulgaria, and in Louisville, Kentucky, and Bloomington, Indiana. His work was chosen by My Morning Jacket to be included with their 4th album, Z, and also as the cover art for Amherst's album, The Detail. His compositions depict simple human emotions, including the fight between good and evil, love and hate, and pain and pleasure. He mainly works with ink, watercolors, and pastels on paper, although he does work on canvas, and we'll talk about a canvas piece. His detailed works express his deepest fears and the source of his happiness. Nikolai, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
So let's get it right. So you're originally from, say the name of the city in Bulgaria.
Chirpan.
Chirpan, okay. And
it's kind of central Bulgaria. It's a small city. 25,000 people. So I moved from there when I was 8th grade to study in art school, high school, which was pretty hard to get in. You gotta be prepared very good.
So it wasn't just like the school that was available to you. It was was it something like what we call here a magnet school that had a focus on the arts?
It was mostly art, actually.
Okay.
About 8 hours every day art, sculpting, painting, design, stuff like this.
Okay. And that was when you were a teenager. That was your high school.
Yeah, I was a teenager. That was during the communism, which was kind of hard to be, to try to be an artist during the communism. Because they were telling you what to do. You don't have freedom like here. You want to paint this, you do it. And if you want to grow like an artist in Bulgaria, at that time, you're just, they tell you what to do.
Right.
Like fake history even, or whatever Russia tells you. That's why people like Christo, he's a very famous artist. He's from Bulgaria. He moved to the United States so he can do what he really wants.
Right. It's difficult to imagine Christo working in, what in the communist system and what used to be called behind the Iron Curtain. That's an old phrase.
He was already in trouble over there, so he moved here. So he did it.
How did you come to leave Bulgaria and come to the United States?
So I was painting, working. I was at the archaeological site, actually. Whatever they find underground, I was painting it or drawing it by pointillism, mostly for a German archaeologist. And I was painting, doing some shows. I'm not very serious. I prefer to paint. I don't participate much, but lately I'm thinking about this more. So I met my wife there, who is American. She was a Peace Corps volunteer in Bulgaria. And we've met at art show, one of my openings. And that's the reason I came to America. We got married actually at the same gallery. She's very great art supporter. She's been helping me so much.
Well, and I should probably mention that how you and I met was because you have a daughter in the Children's Fine Art Class program that is run by LVA, Louisville Visual Art. So I met you. You were just coming one day to pick up her work.
Yeah.
So has she inherited your talent?
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about the piece that is featured in Art Squared. So you know, you've put a lot of, you say you just paint all the time, and there's so many images, you're looking now to get out and show and have shows. But talk to me about the piece you did for us. It's 24 by 24 inches, and it's an image of two birds. But talk a little bit about how that image. So why birds? Because there's a lot of birds in your images, at least more recently.
Yes, lately
Why
I do
birds?
birds, usually pigeons. You know, they're the symbol of peace, freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I just love them, and I'm mostly actually concentrating on textures and all the lines, squares, whatever I use with the
Mm-hmm.
birds. I don't think much when I paint it. Lately I'm painting birds. I just love them. And I've been doing it long ago too,
Right.
with different like ink, watercolors.
Well, you shared with me some images as that painting was actually being done, as sort of
Yes.
in progress. And so, am I correct if I remember that you started this one, or maybe this is common, maybe you do that you started by the composition by drawing in human figures. Is that correct?
I was actually thinking of something else. I don't even remember. I started with textures, like drawing stuff, using my fingers, whatever I find. Then, I don't know, I did a little sketch. It looked like a bird again. So I don't, okay, let's keep doing that. And, you know, after the war started, I'm painting even more pigeons, just to tell people, you know, there is a better way with
Right.
peace. And that's why I named it Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Right. When I look at you talk about textures, of course, textures are part of any painting, I guess, but there's some very specific textures in your painting that almost start to look at, you know, just visually start to almost look like printmaking techniques or something like that. Sort of a consistent texture laid into certain parts of it.
Yes, I do that. Sometimes I'm using plastic. I put some acrylic on the plastic and I kind of print it on the canvas. Then I use a lot of materials. Whatever I find around me in the basement is my studio. So I'll find a nail, I'll use it. So whatever is trying to use less brush, but still without brush, I can't finish everything.
Now, would that sort of unorthodox approach to the application of paint, is that the kind of thing that would have been frowned upon in your school in Bulgaria?
Not really.
So the restrictions were more about subject.
Yeah. And it was more a Russian way, which it's very good, but like the classic way. Drawing, painting, which was great. If you will become an artist, you gotta go through all that stuff.
Right.
And I wasn't very happy with that because of you keep doing it just like this. One of my favorite teachers actually told me, now forget what you learn and keep doing whatever you want. So I always think about this and I'm doing it. Even I get judged sometimes by people, no, this is wrong. You're not supposed to do this. I do it the way I want and whatever.
It mystifies me sometimes how people want to look at creative work in arts, whether it's visual arts, painting, or anything, and say, oh, what you're doing is wrong. I don't think wrong is really a part of a visual artist's vocabulary.
Yeah, I know, but the way I grew up,
Yeah.
I've been hearing that all the time. So,
well, do you? So you obviously have some maybe conflicted feelings about that background. Like, do you feel like you talk, but you're also referring to like there are great traditions from Russia in the arts. I can't help but feel like I do see some aspects in your work that call back to maybe the early 20th century and Russian artists that I remember spending time studying, like, or maybe Russian constructivism and things like that. Do you think there are things like that happening in your work, or am I wrong?
Probably some of, yeah, I think so. Yeah. I've been working that way for a while.
When you talk about how much you paint, like how that you're so productive, like how many paintings do you maybe complete? Do you complete a painting a day, or like how productive are you?
It depends. Probably you see that on Facebook. When I'm very productive, I do 1, 2 to 3 pieces sometimes a day. And sometimes I take a break. I'm busy with some other stuff, so I take a break for a couple of months or less. Then I start again, and that's how it is. I'm not planning, but sometimes I have a dream. Actually, I cannot sleep. I want to do something. I have some ideas, some shapes, whatever. I get up early, get my paint and start.
Do you ever? Can you ever not work? Do you ever have? Are you ever? It's like having writer's block. Do you ever have a creative block and find yourself unable to work?
Oh yeah, I had that many times back in the days, especially my old way to the mixed media on paper, because I was thinking way too much, and after a while I just stopped, and it was taking so long to do one of those pieces. They were beautiful, but I don't know, something made me stop, and I quit for a few years actually. Then I started getting depressed. I needed to do my art again, and here I am again.
So how long have you been painting since you started again? Like, what was that? When was that period?
Maybe 5 years ago, something. It was like on and off. I was a little bit out, and you know, when you work most of the time, every day, you become better and better. You find new ways to, new textures, a lot of new things. You learn more.
Sure.
And I decided, okay, I need to keep going. It doesn't matter what I paint. I may paint just, I don't know, something stupid, but I'm going to paint it and make it look nice.
So there's the importance is the action of painting, and not necessarily the end result. Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But do you ever find you're sort of rejecting your, like when you say you're painting just to something silly or stupid, are you happy with the result if you start from that sort of perspective?
Most of the time. Or I start this, but it comes something else, you know. I cannot control myself. I start playing. It's like playing a game. I put the canvas. I decide, oh, okay, I'm going to paint this rock, but then I'm not happy. So I add another line, something else, different colors. It started changing. And it's just, I don't think much. I just follow whatever. And I try to make it to make me happy.
Right.
So
it seems like, and I think this is probably true for a lot of artists, that every painting is a journey, is its own journey.
yeah.
But then each painting maybe is a different part of your larger journey. Is that fair to say?
I'm sorry, it kind of quit for a while.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of a, I think we're doing okay, but we are having a little bit of a thing with our signal here as we record this. But so that each individual painting, I was saying, is then a part of your larger journey.
Probably. I'm not. I don't know.
Well, I think, and I don't mean to, I don't want to try to put you on the spot or anything, but, it's like, it does seem like there are artists who paint, you're describing your process. You paint so instinctively.
Yeah.
And that you don't, so is it difficult sometimes to talk about your work because it is done so instinctively?
Probably.
Okay.
And I'm not a big talker, so I prefer, that's the way I express myself by painting.
Right.
And I just don't like to talk much about my work or someone else's work. I prefer to think, to look, but it's fun to talk.
Sure.
I got some great artists, friends, so we always get together, having a beer, talking about their stuff, my stuff, someone else's stuff. It's nice.
Sure.
I just follow my instincts, and that's all. It makes me feel better and happy.
Well,
now I'm thinking to go on much larger canvases.
Oh, okay.
I'm afraid to start this big, and I don't know how I'm gonna put it inside my house and outside, but I'm thinking about this.
You could do panels, right? You could do a diptych or triptych.
Yeah, I do those things, but
they're easier to move out.
Something huge. I don't know why. I want to try something else on big canvas. It just, the work is different.
Well, I think it's almost all artists have a restless nature. Because you're always growing and developing, and things are changing for you and how you approach making art. And I think if that ever stops, then you don't ever want it to stop. That's part of being an artist.
Yeah, I don't want it to stop, but sometimes it stops. And now I'm dealing with this. I'm pretty good with this now. So I'm gonna keep going, and we'll see. And I may start thinking of some shows and whatever.
Right. Thank you for talking to me today. I just want to say again, so we've been talking to Nikolai Denchev, and he has a piece called Hope as one of the featured artists in the 2022 Art Squared online event. And that will begin on, the online bidding is June 21st through the 23rd. It begins the 21st at 6 p.m. and it will end the 23rd at 9 p.m. So there's about 2 days of bidding time. So just go to the LouisvilleVisualArt.org. It's not up yet, but you'll find the auction website through our website. And as we continue, we're going to continue having conversations with the other featured artists. Next week, I'm going to be talking to Sabre Crockett and hopefully Schemmel Ford. And so I think by that show, the site will be up and everybody will be able to look at it. But Nikolai Denchev, sorry, Denchev. I'm getting tongue-tied here, thinking about. So thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Bye.